Hello YouTube, welcome to another workbench video here with me Matt, and again we're on to coupling converters. So today I have in front of me two bogies. These were sent in by somebody called Chris Green. I appreciate Chris's donation and help on this. He sent me in two bogies from a PTA wagon, which is basically an iron ore wagon. Made by Hornby and I believe Lima as well. Now when they are made, they come with one of the big D-type couplings. Now, these obviously aren't very compatible with the newer NEM style slimline couplings, and you can't exactly change it for something else as it's all moulded into the bogie. So again, we want to convert them for an NEM pocket. So once again, someone has come to me, Chris, and asked, can I do something? And I said, let me have a look. So he has sent me a bogie and I have converted it to an NEM type. As you can see, there's a KD in this. This is all very prototype stage at the moment, but hopefully they'll be out in November. So the purpose of this video is basically to show you, and secondly it's also a little bit of advertising as well, and also to show you how to convert these over. Now it's pretty straightforward. It fits onto an original mounting point or onto the bogie itself with a small amount of super glue. These have been checked with a KD height gauge and also checked against other standard NEM pockets on ready to run locomotives, etc. So we're going to go a little bit close up and show you how to convert a PTA bogie to an NEM updated type. So here we have our unmodified bogie with a coupling converter next to it, or an NEM pocket converter. This will fit onto the bogie with not too much work, but however we do need to remove the old D-style coupling. So to do that you'll need either a sharp knife or some cutters like these. These are just some snippers which I use 3D printing, but as well as removing plastic material. So really what we need to do, as you can see with the one here, we need to completely remove this section here. So anything from this bar forwards we do not need. So firstly we need to get rid of the hook. There we go. So the hook's gone. That now opens up a little bit more area to work on. So what we basically need to do is to get rid of this coupling here. So scroll along here. You can do it with a sharp knife. We can do it with these. So I'll just tackle that now, and then we'll get back to cleaning it up and seeing how we get on. Okay, so as you can see, the big coupling has now gone. It's been removed, been filed down with a needle file. So this is all ready to go. So the coupling pocket itself is pretty straightforward. So this is just the pocket itself. It's already gauged for height, so it's in the right place. All you need to do is use the original surface. I've used this little channel here to just hold it in place, so just in like that. So a small little bit of glue on the top surface, on the bottom surface where there's a step, and then that will be good to go. And once that is glued in place, after the glue has set and dried, then you can check for heights. Now it should be fine, but if you want to check before gluing, please do. Either use a bit of blue tack just on top to hold the pocket in place, then go up against your height gauge to check for height. So usually about this point I usually say let's compare the heights and see if they're okay. So this is one I done earlier. As you can see, here's one with the green label on top, And if we close it up nicely to the height checker, you can see that is spot on. However, when I went to check the other bogie, you can see this one is a little bit higher, which is always worth pointing out, because the fact is the pocket may be at the right height, but the bogie itself might be higher. Now why is that? If you look at the wheels, that will tell you why. They're fractionally bigger. So when you do height checks and make sure your NEM pocket is at the right height, always check each bogie has the right wheels on, or the correct size wheels on, before doing any height adjustments, making sure things are at the right height. Now I'm pretty sure the NEM pocket on these are at the right height. However, when I went to check it, obviously one is slightly higher, and that's due to wheel size. So always check that your PTA bogies have the correct size wheels on for each bogie it does. So these are slightly different sizes, so I'll just double check and put the measurements in the box below. But generally I'll be feeding that back to the customer and making him aware that the wheels are slightly different sizes on each bogie, which therefore change the height of that coupling pocket and the bogie itself. Okay, let's do a little bit of analysis on these slightly different size wheels. So I'm going to check them with a vernier gauge. So we'll just check the larger one of the two. So you can see there, going to check it on the vernier, put it on, it's 12.7, hopefully you can see that. Then the other wheel, you see there, on the gauge, 11.5, so it's about 1.2 millimeter difference. That will certainly change the height of any NEM pocket, so always worth checking the wheel sizes are the same. So the original pocket I've designed is designed to fit on a bogie running 11.5mm wheels, so please check before fitting anything or chopping anything off your bogies. So there we are, checking does matter. As you can see, it's a very small difference on the surface, but at the end of the day you must check everything, not just where the coupling pockets is, because the problem is when you're designing NEM pockets and converters, it's not just a one size fits all, you have to check everything. So on this one it's designed for 11.5mm wheels. Now whether you can get spares of those or replica ones the same size, I mean general sizes is about 12 now, so the plastic wheels on the left are 12 and the ones on the right is 11.5. So it's always worth checking your stock before ordering and making sure that everything is the same across every single wagon. I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's been a slightly technical one, but easy to fit the pockets. Now I can't tell you the KD size because I don't have a wagon to check them against, so I generally guesstimate somewhere between 18 and 19 is the pocket size or the KD size you need. Of course you can use any other close coupling types. Hope you've enjoyed the video, and again see you on the next one. These should be available in November.